Welcome to Low Main's Brain, my new podcast. This might never air. I don't know. My buddy, shout out to Nick Vitale, kind of encouraged me to do this. It's probably going to be a lot of comedy on here and just like my thoughts about some random shit. Hopefully, I'll make you laugh, and that's kind of it. All right, let's get into it. My first thought that I want to tell the world is, we were all kind of fucking thinking it. I'm going to be the one to say it. God's kind of a dick for creating bugs. I fucking hate bugs. Bugs are like basically the same exact thing as fucking sand. Because and like sand is a little bit better than bugs, and the reason that I know that is because when you go to the fucking beach, if there's a bunch of bugs there, all you do is complain about the bugs and not the sand. And if there happens to be a day where there's no bugs, then all you do is complain about the fucking sand. So bugs are just like one step below sand. And I hate bugs, like literally more than anything. I don't see what they add to this earth. They really fucking piss me off. So that's thought number one. Thought number two, I want to talk about church. And by church, I mean McDonald's. I believe that every American should eat at McDonald's at least 3 times a week. McDonald's isn't just a restaurant; it's fucking church. Like you've always walk into McDonald's with swagger, like don't you? I fucking know you. We all do the same shit. We walk in like swinging dick and balls all over the place because we know that's literally impossible to have an expensive McDonald's meal. You could spend $20 at McDonald's, like yeah, but then you would literally have food for an entire fucking week. The burgers are literally $1. Like a McDouble is $1. Like you cannot match that shit. And the bathrooms are absolutely amazing. I was in a McDonald's the other day, and there was a substance in the leftmost urinal that I had literally never seen before. It was absolutely magical. At first, I thought that someone had dropped like a fat fucking deuce in the urinal, which is an awesome move. But then I looked closer, and I'm on my second appraisal of this this brown black substance. I thought I came to the conclusion that it was just a shitload of brown hair. But then on my third appraisal, I think I came to the conclusion that it was the largest amount of long cut dip that I had ever seen in my entire life. I literally stood there in awe looking at this poop hair dip for about like 45 seconds. I was truly enthralled. After burning that image into my mind, I walked back to my table to eat my 2 bacon McDoubles, 10 McNuggets, a large fry, and a fucking keg of Coca-Cola. It was easily the highlight of my week. And if you don't think McDonald's is a legitimate place to eat while looking at a woman with 6 chins and 3 elbows, then you need a new fucking lease on life, honestly. I love the word cunt. I got called a cunt the other day. It was fucking fantastic. Oh yeah, I was playing golf the other day, and I reached into my bag to find my wedge when I realized that it was missing. So like the common dipshit on a golf course, I ran back to the last hole to find my club, and so I got back to the last hole and asked the people playing the hole if they had seen my club. And like everyone like shakes their head no, besides like this one like fucking Australian dude, I guess, just goes, "Oi mate, I'm sorry I haven't seen it. Where'd your shot land?" And I looked at him and to tell him honestly, like I was like, "Oh my tee shot hit the green," and he just fucking cackled and just goes, "Ha!" And then goes, "Oh, I bet you did, you clever little cunt." And I honestly I stared at him for a second, and I had no idea how to react to that. I just started laughing, and I couldn't find my club, so I ran back to my bag and discovered that it was in there the entire fucking time, proving that I'm not a clever cunt. But this one can roll into my next story, which is also on a golf course. I was playing golf with a kid the other day who said that he was like 23 years old, and I was like, "Oh shit, okay, so you're out of college. Like, what do you do?" And he was like, "Oh, I'm a cop." And so we're standing on the green, and I just got matched up with him randomly. I didn't know this kid, but we're standing on the green, and I kind of squint my eyes and look at him, and I just go, "It's kind of a weird request, but could you Miranda me? Like thinking that he would fucking step up there and just be like you have the right to remain silent. No, so I'm standing there and I lean over to pick my ball and pick up my ball up out of the hole, and he comes over and he fucking tackles me, and he puts my arms behind my back, and I'm laying face down on the ground, and he starts screaming. This is a fucking golf course, dude. He starts screaming at me, and he's like, "You have the right to remain silent." And I was just like, "Holy shit, dude, pause, 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 pause. That is not what I meant at all." And he was like, "Oh, dude, I just had to make sure that the surroundings were safe and everyone else was safe around me, and I had to take control of the situation." And I was like, "Oh, you know what, dude, you're totally good." Did anyone ever think about how fucked up Cat Dog was? Like, the shit really still freaks me out. Like, for anyone that doesn't know, Cat Dog was a cartoon on Teen Nick that ran from like 1998 to 2001 in that area. It was one animal. It like had a cat and a dog on each side of the body facing opposite directions, and each creature had two legs, but they're all stuck together. So the cat was a dick and the dog was fucking idiot. They always wanted to do different things, but they would like constantly fight and like twist their singular vertebrae into like one knot. But the shit that always kept me wondering was like, how the fuck did this thing poop? Like, like if the cat ate food, would it like shit out the dog's mouth? But then it always got me wondering, since they were always fighting, like why wouldn't you just eat Taco Bell all the time if you fucking hated the dude whose mouth you literally shit out of? Or maybe they had like a singular butthole that happened to be in the intersecting spot where their bodies were sewn together. Like that, but that monstrosity this must have been a monstrosity with two male mammals. So the underside of that thing would just be a disaster. It would literally be like dick balls, asshole, balls, dick. But if they shared one asshole, would it literally just shit over time? And if it shit, would it shit out individual meals, or if two came to combine at one? And would it matter if the dog drank some cranberry juice? Like, could they have a race to like see who shits faster by like dipping and drinking coffee? I don't know. That shit still keeps me up at night. So this one time when I was in like fifth grade or something, I went to summer camp. Right, it was sleepaway camp, whatever. Um, I was part of this group that was called the Moose Bears, and we would wake up early every single day, um, at like fucking like 6:30 in the morning, like really like right at dawn, and we would like jump into this like lake, like the first thing of the day when it was like super cold, and just like dance around and like do dumb shit, like fifth graders do, but. So one day they were filming it for to make like some sort of like video at the end of camp. Like, here's all the activities that we did, and so they like line everybody up on like the shore of this pond, and I'm like, oh fuck yeah, like I'm gonna be in first place, and the camera's gonna see me, and like everyone's gonna like cheer for me or whatever. So they like blow a whistle to let all of us like run out into the lake, and I just took off running, like I absolutely bolted out there. Um, and like I'm like getting closer and closer to the camera, and I'm like, hey, like look at me, look at me, look at me. And all of a sudden, the camp dog that was like a golden lab just comes out of nowhere, shoots, and just hits me on an angle and takes me out. And they got this on camera, and they like put it on video in front of the entire camp. And like I had like the entire camp like sitting there like laughing at me, pointing fingers, but like I didn't give a shit. But like that was definitely like probably my most embarrassing moment. So my oldest brother is 8.5 years older than me, which 8.5 years, like that's a big gap. Like that's enough to look down at a person and be like, "What the fuck is this kid doing?" Because you notice how weird little kids are. But my oldest brother, he was great at insulting people like perfectly, and giving them great nicknames. So three nicknames that he had for me when I was a little kid were. The first one was Elf Ear, or Elf Ears, because I literally do have a pointed ear. So like that's the easiest thing to pick on. Obviously, like that's a deformity, but I've grown up to own it and kind of love it. The next one was for about a year of my life. I had lost one of my front teeth, so I had just one huge tooth, and he called me Megatooth for a year of my life, which that was a fucking great insult. But the best one and by far my favorite and really got to me, and it was just I didn't have irregularly small appendages per se. I was just a little kid. He just called me Little Arms for about 3 years of my life. And whenever I couldn't reach anything, he would walk over to me and kind of just go, "Poof, Little Arms." And I hated it so much, but looking back on it, that's just the best insult because there was nothing special about it. He just happened to point out that I was 8.5 years younger than him, and I was like kind of a short kid. So one Easter, we were doing our egg hunt or whatever in the house, and we had this big grandfather clock, that's probably about 7 feet tall, and he reaches all the way up to the top with his hands and reaches around up there and gets an egg and just goes, "Ha, Little Arms." And he was a heavy set kid. He was a big kid, like played football in college and all that stuff, but right after he did that, I ran over to the dining room table and I climbed underneath the dining room table. And right there is absolutely perfect. It was an egg and right under the table. So I crawl under there, come out with it, pick it up, and just go, "Yeah, I got little arms, but your fat body couldn't get down there." So a lot of people who know me know that I just think Taco Bell is the best thing in the world. It's absolutely fantastic. So I have two different Taco Bell stories coming up. The first one is one time I rolled up to Taco Bell and I gave them my order or whatever. Can I get 6 Doritos Locos Tacos or some dumb shit like that? Just being a fucking loser, like eating Taco Bell. You know how people do it that way, but. I'm at Taco Bell, right, and I place my order, and the lady who's behind the counter looks me dead in the eyes, right, and she goes, "I'm sorry, sir, we can't serve you because our meat hose is out of order." And a lot of people, they would think like, "Oh, you should have walked out of there and never gotten Taco Bell. Like they serve you food out of a meat hose." And that did not deter me in any way, shape, or form. I absolutely still love Taco Bell, even though that they serve me food out of a hose. But the second time, the second Taco Bell story is that I was at Taco Bell one time, and I ended up eating 19 tacos, and they were absolutely delicious. I fucking loved my tacos, but the next day I happened to be staying in a hotel room, so I took a shit and clogged the toilet with absolutely no toilet paper. It was just one huge solid poop, and it was ginormous. So I clogged the toilet, obviously, and I call the maintenance guy, the room service, whatever. I call the front desk, and they send a guy up there, and he just looks so fucking sad, and he's holding this plunger up in the air, and he goes, "Yeah, this is the right room. Did you clog the toilet?" And I was like, "Yeah, dude, I did." And he kind of like sighs and looks down at the ground, and I reach over and I take the plunger out of his hands, and he goes, "What are you doing?" And I just go, "Sir, this is my duty." And he looks at me, he's trying to look at me like dead in the eyes. He's trying to tell me like, "Oh, this is my job. Like, this is what I'm here to do." And I just go, nah, dude, this is my duty. So I unclogged the toilet and gave him the plunger back. So that's episode 1 of Low Main's Brain, I guess. If you're listening to this, give me a little bit of feedback. Tell me that it fucking sucked, or tell me that it was good. I don't know. Maybe I'll come out with more. Maybe I won't. But yeah, those are just some stories that I had, and hopefully you enjoyed them. So that's it.